Over the next few minutes, we'll be discussing inclusion versus exclusion in a special ed classroom. The student I chose to portray is named Jace. He's 12 years old in 7th grade and has just recently moved to Florida with his family. Jace was diagnosed at age 10 with a specific learning disability of dysgraphia and dyslexia. As a male student, he's more likely to have a specific learning disability, but as Hispanic students are less represented. Only 27% of students report having a specific learning disability in the Hispanic community. He was recently diagnosed with ADHD, so that is something that his parents have been trying to get support services for. Some of Jace's educational and social needs would be inside the classroom. An IEP would support most of these things and these accommodations. Some highlighted ones would be getting notes that were given prior to the lesson so that he can follow along with notes that are already given to him rather than trying to write his own notes and not being able to read them afterwards. Taking short breaks from the classroom would help his ADHD. Also, just making sure that he has an advocate on campus or somebody he can talk to make sure that his mental health is not suffering. Students who have specific learning disabilities and ADHD are prone to having some mental health issues as well. So making sure that we're not having mental health issues and we're having somebody who's positive on campus that he can talk to is very important. It is my recommendation that Jace is fully included in his classroom. An IEP should support all of these accommodations that he needs for his specific learning disability and his ADHD inside a traditional gen ed classroom setting. The benefits of full inclusion are very clear. He gets to remain in the classroom with his peers, receiving the content and material that he needs at his age-appropriate levels. Some challenges would be making sure that there is a specialized teacher that can help with remediation in reading and writing if there needs to be. Also, with the ADHD, there can be escalation of oppositional behavior. So making sure that there is safety in the classroom is a concern. And also just fidgeting and distracting other children in the classroom is a concern. Some solutions to these concerns would be to make sure that the teacher knows how and is qualified to offer small group services. The use of paraprofessionals is very key in making sure there's an extra body in the classroom that can help if necessary with behavior or in remediation. Having a teacher that has a very strong classroom management is important. Strong PBIS programs implemented in the school will also help Jace with any behavior that happens inside the classroom. Making sure that he is able to handle his emotions appropriately inside the classroom. Some things that are working in special education that have always worked in special education are having hardworking, dedicated teachers. I had the opportunity to volunteer in our self-contained classroom at the middle school here where I live, and I noticed that they were advocating for students to really speak for themselves in the classroom, and I think that's always been there. Love and respect, so important. These are things that are always going to work in special education. And moving forward, early intervention is key. Making sure that the diagnoses are happening and interventions and accommodations for students are happening very quickly will help mitigate any ongoing problems if possible. As a parent who has a student with an IEP, I think parents need to be more involved in their students' education. It's really important. That idea tells us that parents have the right and it's the law that they are included in what's going on with their students' education. And so I think more parents need to understand what their role is and also that they have a role. Another thing that we can work with in special education moving forward is just the cross-cultural dissonance or just understanding intersectionality and making sure that we understand the barriers and obstacles that our students are coming to us with and that we don't put extra barriers onto them. So I think that moving forward, those are the things that will really help special education become more inclusive to everybody and really help students that need help. Thank you.